Well, hello there, DontFretBret. Well, I wanted to import data in my Excel worksheet, and I wanted to customize the way data will be put in the Excel's worksheet. So I saw your tutorial, which is Excel VBA pull data from a website, and it was exactly what I wanted. But I tried to do it myself with a Morningstar site that I wanted to do, and I couldn't do it. That made me pretty frustrated. I started reading and finished the book VBA for Dummies, and I'm reading currently an HTML book. But I'm having some questions that are very specifically oriented to your tutorial, and I would like them I would like, excuse me, to answer those questions through this tutorial. Thank you. Alright, so my first question is that in the tutorial we were in an example that we were right here and we would put a zip code and we will end up with the city and the county, or I don't know what else. Here we can see Sacramento and Sacramento County. And if we inspect the element right here, we can see that the name is place. So if we typed a question mark place and the zip code, we and push enter in the URL, we ended up with the information that we were asking for. Um, that doesn't work for my example. So here you can see we have a Morningstar website, and if we put a ticker in it, push enter, just a second, it displays particular stock information about a specific company. Here we can see BDX, the ticker typed in, Becton Dickinson. Alright, so if we go back and inspect this one, as in the tutorial example, you can see that the name is SSRCH term. So if we type in a question mark and SSRH term and equals, and push enter, we go back to the home page. So far so good, but if we type the ticker BDX, we go again to the home page. We don't go to the specific page that holds the the stock information of that specific company, as in the example. In the example we had the search. We right click, we inspect the element, we put place in it, and if we uh, done that without the zip code, we we were directed in the beginning of the page. But and then if we had a zip code typed in here, as you can see, we were directed somewhere. But in my example, I found the name. I found the name. I type it in after the question mark, and I type the ticker, I push enter, but I don't go to Becton Dickinson, for example. I go again to the home page. Why that? Why does that happen? So, my friend, one of the most confusing parts for me, honestly, is picking the correct tag in the HTML. Absolutely puzzling for me. I always make an error on that. So you have stated in your example that if we right click Sacramento, we inspect the element, we see DD tags, and we see here, if we expand that, Sacramento and Sacramento County. Well, alright, but Sacramento County here is inside another tag called A, and Sacramento is alone. So how can I know in the choose elements by tag name not to put the A tag, and put the DD tag? Is it because the DD tag gets expanded? And this gets a lot more confusing to me. If I go, for example, to Morningstar and I put stock quote BDX and it loads, well, this one. If I right click the last price, for example, and I inspect the element, I get the span tag, and here I can see that the information is inside the span tag. Which one is it? Is it the first one, the second one, or the third one? And as you have said in code word, it's 0, 1, or 2, because I've tried all the three of them and none has worked. Is it the one that can be expanded? Is that the way I see which tag to choose? Or is it probably in another tag higher in the hierarchy, which I cannot know how to figure it out? So, uh, how can I know which tag to choose? Because all these three ones, which have which I've put in the get elements by tag name, didn't give me that number. How can I pick the correct tag in the HTML? That's the most crucial question for me. And now my other question is that in your example we put a zip code, we push enter, and we get a county and the name of the place. So as you can see in this diagram, it's a two-stage procedure. You enter your zip code, you push enter, and boom, you get your info, your county info to pick. But in my example, as you can see, I have ticker, excuse me, and revenue. So I go to Morningstar homepage. I type in BDX, push enter, and here we have BDX. Then I click financials, and here we have financial. And if we right click revenue, there we got it, inspect element. So my example really, it's a excuse me, it's a three-stage procedure. So how do you do that? I mean, how do you automate a three-stage procedure? That's my example. First, I gotta go to Morningstar. Secondly, I had to pick financials from the loaded stock info, and once I go to financials, then I get to inspect the element, which is the numeric value of the revenue. How do you do that extra mile, especially when the URL bar, the URL code is that long? It's longer than an account. I mean, look at it, Jesus. And there's plenty of equal signs, and there's a question mark. Which part of the URL do you need to put in the Visual Basics model? That is the last question. How can I automate a three-stage procedure, for example? Can you show me what to read about that, or where, or a direction, thinking, a know-how about that? Thank you very much.